If you are looking for an unbiased, updated, Incogni versus Optery comparison, you are in the right place. Now, because you found this video, I'm going to guess you probably already know about the growing threat that data brokers pose. You already know that they're collecting bits of your personal identifying information without your consent and essentially trading it on the open internet, publishing it for anybody to find. Data brokers are a fast-growing problem in America and worldwide, but it's not until the past few years that people have really started to become aware of the damage that they can cause, enabling things like stalking and identity theft, and have begun to seek out solutions. Because the space is evolving so quickly, I'm having to update my opinions in near real time, and I'll tell you at the top of this video, over the past 6 months, my opinions about Incogni have definitely changed. And so in this video, I wanted to see how the Incogni product stacks up against a newer, quieter, but actually probably better competitor in Optery. Here's a bit of background about each of these companies. Incogni is owned by Surfshark. Now, depending on who you are, this could be a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing if you believe that the cash behind Surfshark, and Surfshark is indeed a money printer, is going to enable a faster pace of product development and ultimately is going to make Incogni a better product at opting you out of these data broker websites. Incogni being owned by Surfshark is generally a bad thing if you're distrustful of anything that you consider to be big VPN. I know some of you watching this are. It's a bad thing if you think that because Surfshark owns so many products, it's not going to put the focus into Incogni that it really deserves. In contrast to the Surfshark product, Optery focuses on one thing only, and that's data broker removals. So rather than being one product among many, what you get with Optery is a focus exclusively on opting you out of data broker websites. I think it's a very fair, honest characterization to say that Incogni is run by great marketers and pretty decent product people, whereas Optery is run by bad marketers and really, really good product people. Okay, so when you first log into Incogni, here's what you're going to see. You're going to get 4 main tabs: dashboard, detailed review, custom removals, and a blog link. The main dashboard displays these 3 primary metrics: removal requests sent, requests in progress, and completed removals. They also provide you an estimate with how much time they've saved. In my case, let's see here, 267 hours and 45 minutes. You know, this is Incogni's attempt to really quantify the value of their service. And yeah, for sure, data broker opt-out services like Incogni, like Optery, will save you a bunch of time. If you want to check either one out, get a discount, help support me and the channel, I really appreciate that. Links are going to be available in the video description below or in these fancy QR codes that you see on the screen here. I like the fact that Incogni is positioning itself as a time saver by showing me exactly how much time it thinks it saved me, but this actually leads me into a pretty big problem with Incogni. In fact, this is my biggest problem with the product. If you actually want to verify Incogni's numbers and successful removals, well, you can't really. So check this out. When I signed up for Incogni, I provided a bunch of PII, but in spite of providing these unique data points, Incogni's matching system seems really rudimentary. I don't think it actually understands who I am. So here's an example. One of the data brokers that Incogni will opt you out of is homemetry.com. The reason I say this is because when I log into Incogni, I'm greeted with 150 potential profiles. And so with these potential profiles, I have to either click, this is me, this is not me. Now, I get that there are other people with my same name, maybe living in the same state, even the same city, of course. But when I look at one of the alleged matches here, it's a woman who's 30 years older than me. Literally, our only connection is that we share the same area code. For me, I've seen this pattern repeated across dozens of different sites, and it's the one big reason I can't wholeheartedly recommend Incogni. I just don't trust its pattern matching capabilities, at least not yet. Everything else after this is almost kind of a moot point. So yeah, we could show you on the dashboard here that Optery does offer a unique detailed view where you can filter compliance score, severity score, request status. And this is all helpful, but if Incogni is not actually opting you out of the data broker websites that it purports to, how helpful are these additional filters? Optery's dashboard has a much better design. And the biggest difference between Optery and Incogni is that with Optery, I can actually verify whether they have successfully removed the real me, the me that I want removed from these data broker websites, or they've, accidentally removed some sort of a doppelganger. And on the surface, this ability to verify, it might seem like a small feature, but I would say it's actually the critical feature that most data broker opt-out services miss. And this is really going to shift your user experience from, having to trust a company's marketing claims at face value to being able to verify them for yourself, which I think we all want. You see on the screen here, Optery's dashboard is also very dynamic, easy to filter. So we've got dynamic filters for removal status. We have a search bar if you want to quickly search for specific websites. And if you simply want a good old-fashioned PDF, you can download that in the Optery backend as well. Maybe share that with the family members so that they can see which data broker websites they've been removed from. All right, now showing the screen here, how many sites Incogni and Optery actually will remove you from. This is going to depend based on pricing tier, especially with Optery. And there's going to be a lag between when I'm recording this footage today and when it gets edited and uploaded to YouTube. So we'll flash the numbers numbers, the current numbers on the screen here. I can't make a perfect apples to apples comparison here. Incogni really offers 2 packages. Optery offers 4. The fairest comparison I can make between packages would be between Incogni's default package and Optery's, I think they call it, the mid-tier core plan. These are similarly priced, but the core plan will actually opt you out of twice as many sites as Optery. And if you upgrade to Optery's Extended or Ultimate Plus plans, you're going to get way more opt-outs than you do with Incogni. But, and this is one of the things I really like about Optery, you actually don't need to upgrade. You can start completely free. And in that case, what it's going to do is it will generate what they call an exposure report. And so you can see what sites you're appearing on, and then you can begin that tedious, painful, but sometimes justifiable manual opt-out process if you don't want to spend the cash on a automated removal plan with Optery. Now, of course, promising to opt you out of 100, 500, however many sites is one thing, but actually being able to do it, that's a completely different animal entirely. With Incogni, as I've covered already, it's really difficult for me to verify, how many of their claimed 357 removals have been for myself. I suspect many, probably most, have actually been for other people. But again, with Incogni, there's no way that I can verify that, at least that I can see. Optery, on the other hand, as you now know, offers these before and after screenshots, so it's much easier to verify which sites you've been removed from. As mentioned, because I've already used so many of these services in the past, there's not a whole lot of information that I can scrub from the internet for myself. So what I did is I got my mom set up with Optery. Within 2 weeks, I was able to see a very clear difference in Google search results. And interestingly, my mom opted not to sign power of attorney with Optery, which by not signing limits the scope of sites that they're going to remove you from. But in spite of not signing the POA, she still got removed from really, it looks like most problematic data broker websites that she was on. Now, in terms of pricing, I'll flash the prices and packages on the screen here. So with Incogni, their pricing basically breaks down. So you have a standard plan, you have a family plan, and then you have what they call an unlimited plan. If you want custom removal requests, which you probably do, then you're going to need to upgrade to Incogni's ultimate plan. And I should note that that one is only available with annual billing. It looks like the other plans you can pay month to month. Optery pricing breaks down into 5 different tiers, starting with the free tier that I mentioned, where you're going to generate that exposure report. You're going to see the sites that you're listed on, and then you would need to do those manual removals yourself. From there, you've got Optery's basic, their core, their extended, and their ultimate plan. Personally, I really like this tiered pricing structure because it allows you a greater degree of flexibility, of specificity. You might be somebody super high profile. If you're a celebrity, an influencer, maybe a high-powered Fortune 100 exec, you're probably going to want to go nuclear with Optery's ultimate plan. If, on the other hand, you just want to remove yourself from a handful of websites, Optery's basic plan might be perfectly sufficient. For a direct comparison with similar price points, let's see here. Incogni Standard is going to run you about $829 a month and remove you from 207 sites, whereas Optery's core plan is going to be $899 a month, and that's going to remove you from 370 plus sites. So when you think of this as an investment and really calculate the number of removals per dollar that you're going to get, Optery comes out on top. In terms of additional features, I do want to briefly touch on custom removals because this is going to matter to some people. Now, you can get the custom removals feature with both Incogni and Optery. If you want that, which you probably do, go with these packages. One additional feature that Optery has, Incogni doesn't, is a removals issues tab. If you're having trouble getting yourself off a particular website, you can escalate that to Optery's customer support. And this feature really illustrates the 2 different ways in which these companies operate. So Incogni, I get the impression it's like 99% algorithmic. I don't think there are that many people actually actively working to remove you from these data broker sites. With Optery, I think it's a combination, human plus algorithm. Where the algorithm can't do it, they escalate to people. And ultimately, this combination of a technology plus people is really going to lead to more robust results. Now, one area where Incogni might actually be a little bit better than Optery is international coverage. So I'll show the countries where these softwares work on the screen here, and you can decide for yourself. I get the sense that, at least for now, Optery is really US focused at this time. So if you're international, you might want to consider Incogni. That's the comparison. I think the verdict is clear. While Incogni positions itself as a really affordable data broker removal service, the fact that you can independently verify whether they've successfully opted you, the real you, out of people's search sites leaves a lot to be desired. My recommendation for 90% of you watching this video, go with Optery. It's a better service. You don't need to go with their top tier plan, although for some of you, I would absolutely recommend that if you're serious about removing yourself from the internet for good. But you have 5 different plan structures, so you can choose the one that works best for you. By signing up for one of these services, you're showing that you're serious about reducing your risk of identity theft, of stalking and harassment, of docking, and for that, I commend you. Remember, discounts are available below. They help support the channel, so I can continue to do more investigative research like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.